The Carolina Hurricanes are looking to extend their point streak and win streak with their final home game tonight against the Los Angeles Kings ahead of the All-Star break. Find out how they can come away with the win in this episode of Locked On Hurricanes.
Your Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And as always, thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of this Tuesday afternoon. And this episode is brought to you by the lovely folks over at FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/locked on to get started today. And don't forget to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes and myself on Twitter at JaredEllis_96. And in today's episode, folks, we will be previewing tonight's game against the Los Angeles Kings. And the Hurricanes are firing on seemingly all cylinders right now. They're coming off of that really dominant 4-1 win over the Boston Bruins this weekend. And, I talked about that with Gil on the Locked On NHL show. And with that game, it's a great confidence booster of them being able to take down the league's best like that in such dominant fashion, not, like a overtime goal or anything like that. They were firing on all cylinders in that game. They played a really complete team game, and everyone was showing up, doing their part, and that needs to continue tonight. Special teams was big in that game. The PK went 6 for 6, and they got a power play goal in the second period. And we'll skip ahead in my notes a little bit, but Jordan Stahl's shorthanded goal, with that one, they're the first team since the 08-09 Thrashers to have 7 or more shorthanded goals in a calendar month. And the penalty kill is stepping up big, not just killing penalties, like scoring goals as well. And that's going to be huge, obviously in this game tonight against LA, but just moving forward in the regular season, whether it be tomorrow against Buffalo, coming back from All-Star break, heading into the playoffs, if you can score goals shorthanded, that's going to be big. That's going to be really, really big for them, and especially with the way the power play has been, I'd say hit or miss, but mostly miss this season. So, if they can keep that going, that's going to be big tonight, but, just going forward as well. And, we got guys that are going on crazy streaks right now, which is what you need. And it's top guys going on these streaks as well. Sebastian Aho, has 7 goals in 4 games, and I believe he's also on a point streak. Scored a goal in 4 straight games. And Brent Burns, having a 5-game point streak as well. And, with him also, really finding his groove, with the Hurricanes. Obviously, we talked about that streak there, but he also has the most points by defenseman on the team this year so far, with 34 points, and he has the most assists of anyone on the team. So he's coming into his own. This is what we expected from him, and that's what we're getting. And Marty Necas is also on a 3-game point streak as well, and he's only 2 assists shy of 100 career assists as well. So that, knowing him, that could very well happen tonight. But we won't jinx it or anything like that. But this team is really firing on all cylinders. Like I said, they've gotten over that hump, and one thing that's working for them right now is, like I said, they're playing a team game. You got guys out. Pacioretty, he came back was great in his brief time this season, but he's out again with a torn Achilles. Jacob Slavin is out right now. Freddie Anderson, he's back now, but he was out for quite a bit this season as well. And guys are stepping up and getting the job done, and that's big for the team for continued success. And if they can continue to do that, they're going to be fine tonight. They're going to be fine, going forward as well. Because like I said earlier, Buffalo is the next game tomorrow, up in Buffalo, obviously, and then you have the Rangers following the All-Star break, then Capitals and Montreal as well. So a lot of big things coming for the Hurricanes, and looking ahead to tonight and what I feel they need to do. Keys to the game. We touched on some of it already, but to dive more in depth to it, we'll do that right after this quick break, folks. Now, folks, it is, of course, game day. You got another game tomorrow. And if you are wanting to place a bet on that game, you need to do so at fanduel.com. We're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On because they're the number one sports book in America, and that's FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. So right now you can download FanDuel so you can bet on Super Bowl 57 with a no sweat first bet, and you'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. And of course, you got this game tonight against the Kings. You got tomorrow against the Sabres as well. And FanDuel lets you put everything from the money line to the point spread to who will score that first touchdown in the Super Bowl. And the FanDuel Sportsbook app is safe and secure and super easy to use. And best of all, you can get paid your winnings instantly. So join FanDuel today at fanduel.com/locked on to claim your no sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That's fanduel.com/locked on. Again, fanduel.com/locked on to make every moment with FanDuel more with the official sportsbook partner of the NFL and Locked On, folks. So go place those bets. And like I said, tonight against the Kings, I touched on it already, but the big thing for them tonight is special teams. That's going to be big. And, because you look at Boston, again, we've talked about that game already and just how they showed up in that game. If they can do that again, I think that's going to be really, really big for them. And, with so many guys being out, again, you still got Andre Kasha out. He's been out since October 13th. And, this team hasn't been fully healthy the entire season. He's a guy that's been skating, since December 16th, but Max Pacioretty, he's the big one going out again. And, in his brief stint, with the team, he was doing really well and he was picking up a big workload for them. And I feel like, with the Hurricanes, ever since he went out again, everyone has really risen to the occasion. Like, oh, okay, he's out again. Now we're gonna be without him. We all need to step up, and they have been. And then Jacob Slavin, he's been out since the January 19th game against Minnesota. And again, guys stepping up and getting the job done. You go back to that game against the Stars, and how physical they were in that game. I know on the stat sheet, the Hurricanes, were really out hit, and on paper the Stars played more physically, but watching that game, the Hurricanes, they're not getting pushed around the way they used to. And playing this complete team game that they're doing right now is extremely beneficial for them and their success. And it'll be interesting to see what they do trade deadline to fill that Pacioretty hole. But right now, everyone is stepping up and doing their part. Even guys that we've been critical of, this season, like Dylan Coughlin, he's been a big guy that, a lot of folks have been critical of him not looking great, but, go back to that game against Boston, everyone, aside from that one goal, uh, everyone played a dang near perfect game, and I think that they need to continue this. We've talked about it all season long at this point. The whole no passengers thing for the Hurricanes that Jordan Stahl mentioned at the start of the season when they're having some trouble. They need to continue that mentality. And I'm confident that they will. And it's going to be really interesting to see just how they tackle, these next couple games tonight and tomorrow, we're going into the All-Star break. I don't think that they will have the mentality of, oh, we're fixing to go on break. We're not gonna go out there and, play as hard as we did against Boston or anything like that. I don't think that's the case, but the reason I bring it up is because you have seen that before in just sports in general, not the Hurricanes, but just in general. Before an extended sort of break, you've seen teams kind of phone it in a little bit, like, oh, we're fixing to go on break. Eh, we're not going to give a full effort. I don't think that will be the case with the Hurricanes though tonight. It's going to be one that I think they're also gonna have their work cut out for them a little bit because the Kings are, on the come up. They're better than what they have been in the past couple years. As of right now, they're tied for second in the Pacific Division. And they're a team that has, with their rebuild, for me, at least from the outside looking in, has gone a lot faster than I would have expected. And I think that the Hurricanes, it's not gonna be an easy game like it may have been, in the past couple seasons. They're gonna This is gonna be like Boston, and they're gonna have to work for it. But I think at the end of the day, the Hurricanes can do it, and a big part of that has been their blue line. I mentioned Brent Burns earlier, but we have this stat right here in front of me. The Hurricanes are tied with the Panthers for most goals from their defenseman core this season. They've had 32 goals from their defensemen in the first 49 games, and Brady Shea, he has been killing it. He's had 8 in the last 25, and that's the most by any defenseman since December 1st for the team. And they're they're firing on all cylinders, which I think is going to be really, really important for them tonight, tomorrow, going forward. And I think that I'm glad that they're getting these injuries and whatnot. Obviously, I'm not glad they're getting injuries, but I'm glad they're happening now. And that way they can be not necessarily done, but they know how to deal with these. Jacob Slavin, their best defenseman. He doesn't miss time very often. And to be learning how to play without him now, mid-season, as opposed to second round of the playoffs, that's going to be big. And these guys are going to know, all right, Jacob's out. All right, we know how to handle this situation. And it's very good. What I'm getting at is they're going to have very good situational awareness because they've dealt with so many injuries this season. They know how to deal with this. Slavin's up. All right, we know what to do here. And obviously Patrick won't be there in time for playoffs, but whoever happens to slot into that spot, whether it's trade deadline or whatever. All right, we know how to handle this situation. Freddie Anderson goes down, or Auntie Ronta goes down. All right, we know Piotr, he can handle this, and they're gonna have very good situational awareness for these freak things, and that's gonna be really it's gonna be really good. Again tonight against the Kings aren't a team that's gonna be a cakewalk like in years past. You're without Jacob Slavin tonight. All right, we're gonna know how to handle this, And yeah, heck, LA's gonna know, hey, they don't have their best defenseman right now. They're gonna LA's gonna try to exploit that, and the Hurricanes are gonna be like, all right, we got a rough idea of what teams are gonna do here. But again, Slavin's gonna be out. Pacioretty's out again. Kasha still out. And you know, as far as the lineup for tonight, I think it's going to be very similar to what we've been seeing, but it's going to be worth taking a look at regardless. And we will do that right after this quick break, folks. Now, folks, our next partner is Athletic Greens and AG1. They've been a longtime sponsor of the show, and you guys know by now it is lifestyle friendly. Whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy free, or gluten free, AG1 contains less than 1 gram of sugar with no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial anything while still tasting good. And it supports better sleep quality and recovery, supports mental clarity and alertness, and it's the one thing with the best things. Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science with constant product iterations and third party testing. And folks, it's important to take a multivitamin. Tons of people take some kind of multivitamin, and it's important to choose one with high quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb. AG1 is a small micro habit with big benefits. It's one thing you can do every single day to take great care of yourself, and your subscription comes with a year's supply of vitamin D, which is so important to add into these winter months. When we're not outside getting a whole lot of sunlight, it's over the past couple of days here and while it's been a little bit warmer, but as a whole, it's been cold. Don't want to go outside, guys. And right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. And it's just 1 scoop of water in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1 year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NHL network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Now, folks, looking at the lineup tonight, as of right now, nothing has came out of any sort of morning skate or practice, and so we don't know exactly what we're going to be looking at. It is 11:30 in the morning right now as of recording. So again, so far no updates on any of that stuff, but this is what I don't expect much to change. Yeah, I feel like listener or watcher on YouTube, probably feeling the same exact way. Things are firing on all cylinders right now. I don't expect much to change. And really, if anything, I think the only thing that you can maybe see some sort of change with would be the goalie. Maybe they go with Auntie Ronson instead of Freddie Anderson. I think that would really and truly be the only thing that they would possibly change in tonight's game. But we're gonna look at that lineup from the Boston game. And actually, I literally just pulled it up on my phone, projected lineup there, ready to go for tonight. So rather than look at the last one and maybe do a bit of speculation, we're gonna look at the one from for tonight. That's what we're gonna do. So what a time to go into the projected lineup. Thank you, Carolina Hurricanes. Um, and first up, Frederick Anderson is expected to be the Hurricanes goalie tonight for the 6th time in a row. So, you know, heck yeah, Freddie. Yeah, again, that's not a big surprise at all. The fact that they're going with Freddie. Uh, it says right here he's been 5-0 since his return. Uh, he's not giving you a reason not to play him. Yeah, like we said with Auntie Ronta when he was going on his streak, when Piotr was going on his streak. They're not giving you a reason not to play them. It's just, all right, balancing that load of we don't want to play him too much and risk getting hurt and the other guy getting too rusty from sitting. too long. That's really it. But again, this is not not a surprise at all. And Jacob Slavin is anticipated to miss another game. It'd be his fifth in a row due to a lower body injury. And from morning skate this morning, Brady Shea and Brett Pesci were sliding in and out of that spot. And it goes on to say Rod Brind'amour stressed afterward that the upcoming break in the schedule, it may be best to keep the star defender out of the lineup, allowing him to get back to 100%. And the Hurricanes are 4-0 without him in the lineup. And yeah, it probably is a good idea. Like, hey, we talked about that break of, teams, maybe phoning it in a little bit before all-star breaks again, whether it's hockey, basketball, baseball, whatever. You've seen that in the past, and I think that this is it's a good decision. And you're looking at this like, all right, you got tonight and tomorrow, and then you get that time off. Like, all right, we're doing good right now. We don't need him back right now. Let's just let him sit and get to 100% because we said it time and time and time again. This heck, throughout the entire course history of this show, but this season especially, I'd rather these guys take a little bit longer and come back actually at 100% rather than coming back at 80% and hurt themselves even more and be out even longer. And Andre Kasha like that, Freddie Anderson like that, Pacioretty, all those guys. I want them to take their time and actually be ready because at the end of the day, this is just a game, and yeah, they have their lives, their livelihoods to look after as well, and they need to do what's best for them. And for Slavin, it's best, just sit these last couple games, take care of himself over the All-Star break, and then, come back ready to go against the Rangers after that. But, looking at the actual lineup tonight, on the top line, it's going to be Teuvo Teravainen, Sebastian Aho, and Seth Jarvis. Are we surprised by this line? No, we're not. I mean, we know what to expect out of this line. Tavo moving back up. I think it'll be good for him. Hopefully, he can get things going again. On the second line, Andrei Svechnikov, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and Marty Necas again. Jesperi moving back up. That's it's going to be good for him. And because he was getting to the point where, he needed to move back up to the second line center. And so far, it's going to be a long road with him. Again, not saying he's bad at his role or anything like that, but still growing, still developing. And that's what they expected, when they signed him to that long-term extension. They knew, like, all right, it'll take some time to develop, but he's in a great situation to do that. And he's on a great line to get the best out of him. He's got Marty Necas on his right, Andrei Svechnikov on his left. It's going to be a dangerous line. It's going to be a really dangerous one. Third line, obviously, it is Jordan Martinick, Jordan Staal, and Jesper Fast. Duh. Why are we changing? Why would we ever change that line if a guy wasn't hurt? Of course. And on the fourth line is Stefan Nays and Paul Stastny and Derek Stepan. On the blue line of things, no surprise here. Jalen Chatfield and Brent Burns, Brady Shea and Brett Pesci, Calvin DeHaan and Dylan Coghlan. Again, no surprises there. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Coghlan, because so often he's been the odd man out, and when he has been out there, a lot of times it hasn't been great. Aside from a few things here and there. I was really thinking he was going to be trade bait, or not necessarily himself, but a piece, in a trade. But with Slavin being out, Coghlan's getting in there, and getting ice time and playing time. So it's going to be interesting what they do. Like, all right, do we keep this guy around? And just in case for a situation like this where you're having a guy out for an extended period of time. But, yeah, at the end of the day, that's just all speculative stuff. Again, Freddie Anderson expected to get the start tonight. No surprise there. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun game tonight. Again, last home game before the All-Star break. I expect it to be very rowdy there inside PNC Arena, and it's gonna be, again, like I said earlier, they're gonna have their work cut out for them tonight, and they're going to need to continue to play that full to complete team game that they did against Boston, that they've been doing, on this entire win streak. And one note that I had here that I forgot to mention when we were talking about Freddie Anderson is the fact that the Hurricanes are now the first team to get at least 10 wins from 3 different goalies in a season. And like we've talked about in the past, on this show, other Locked On shows, uh, it's a real testament to the smarts of the folks in the office that they built a team with such depth and that you can have something like that. All right, you can call up your AHL goalie. He's ready to go right now to be an NHL goalie if you really needed him to be. And he's the only goalie under contract for next season. So you imagine, all right, he's probably going to be here in Raleigh full time next year. But yeah, that's for next season. But again, this is a real testament to just how deep this organization is. And in fact, like Slavin being out, all right, Jalen Chatfield, boom, first pairing with Brent Burns. He's been killing it all season long. It's on a two-way deal, but he never got sent back down because he is, again, like we've said before this season, like Seth Jarvis Lassie, forced their hand. Like, all right, yeah, I'm just going to play that freaking good where you can't send me back. And he's done that, and now he's getting first pairing minutes with Brent Burns, who in that Boston game, that was his 1,300 NHL game. So obviously, congratulations to him. This is 1301. Let's see him get another assist. He's been really good for that this season. But we got to get to this game tonight. We got to get to Buffalo tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it, folks. I know you are as well. So make sure you're tweeting your pictures from PNC Arena, the sports bar where you're at, wherever you're watching. Make sure you're tweeting those at me at Jared Ellis _96 or the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes. And I will talk to you in the next episode where we break down this game tonight against the LA Kings and preview tomorrow's against the Buffalo Sabres. You guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the game tonight, and let's go Canes.